Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome. It's your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman, here in the studio, Muskogee Creek Nation, welcoming you in, folks, for what we feel like is a great show. We've got lots of information out there, lots going on in Indian country this week, and that's exactly what we're here for, to bring you those stories about what our people, our tribes, our nations are doing, and that's exactly what we'll do this week. We go to the University of Oklahoma in Norman. We'll have a little bit of news for you from the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum. Some great things happening for those folks this week. Also the Challenge Bowl at the Muskogee Creek Nation. You know, you have that one-hand list on the big events throughout the year, festival. Definitely Challenge Bowl makes that one too. So we've got a feature on that great event. Can't wait to share that with you folks. And actually, we're going to be visiting with Tourism and Recreation about a new publication they put out, and that's coming up in studio with Brian OnTheHill right after this first break. You watch Native News Today.
Momesh Harishongigo imongin Hobidagi ani omaga Bomaha hoye imongin oma bonchomegigosh. For more information about Muskogee language preservation, please call us at 918-732-7724.
There's a story I heard hundreds of times growing up. The story about the day my grandpa disappeared. I grew up in a world of songs.
I always think of the songs really being the spirit of something. There's a story.
They are the same songs our ancestors sang on the Trail of Tears.
They carry the grief, but they also carry this great love that works the same way at death.
There was one little drop of blood on the back fender. And his glasses was on the dash. And no sign of him.
As they searched, you could hear these songs echo through the forest.
I didn't realize what that would lead me to. A whole rich story of American music history that had never been told. What would you say is the first American music?
Our histories are not written, they are spoken through stories. They are told through our songs.
I want to talk to that man, but he's gone. He's gone somewhere.
When we sing these songs, we're waking up God.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Muskogee Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the Turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. So give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary. And welcome back to Native News Today, and in studio with us now, special guest Brian OnTheHill, Muskogee Creek Nation Tourism and Recreation Department. Brian, thanks for being with us today. Talk about some great things we have going on with tourism and recreation, especially this beautiful new publication that you guys have put out. I want to talk about that front and center here today, the official guide to the Muskogee Creek Nation. Can you talk a little bit about what went into it for you? A lot of hard work, I know, but also just how the idea formulated and really to have a consolidated form of all that we have to offer.
Well, we partner with the Oklahoma State Department of Tourism and Recreation, and through that partnership we're able to attend many travel shows. And in these travel shows we promote our tribe and everything that we have to offer. And we see all the publications that all the other marketing associations put out, the State Department of Tourism puts out, and we wanted to develop our own. We had a brochure, and then we wanted to do something more comprehensive, and that's where this guide came out. And through many conversations within our department, deciding what we thought needed to be promoted and how to promote it, then this came to fruition.
I think it's neat because not only do you see a lot of things that you all are directly involved with and as far as the day-to-day operation of with tourism and recreation, but also some things out of you all's grasp that still needs to be included in Muskogee Creek Nation, some things of our homelands back east, which we'll be visiting here pretty soon, a large contingent of Muskogee Creek Nation back to Horseshoe Bend. But I know that was important for you guys to get a little bit of everything in there, and I know for you, just the creative process, it took a little while, didn't it?
It took a few months to get everything together, and my goal in this whole thing, well, and the department's goal really, was to make sure that if anyone picked this up, whether they were Creek or not, we wanted to make sure they knew everything they needed to know about the Creek Nation. Who we are, what we do, what we're about, and then all the amenities that we have to offer should someone be passing through our area. And then there are also some things in there that our citizens might not know about, so we wanted to clue them on in those things as well.
Yeah, and I think it does a fantastic job of that, and really not to give too much away to the folks at home, but we're excited too about a partnership with you all and us, really bringing this to life. And you can, it'll jump off the page because we're going to be doing some promotional video work with, you know, promoting, as you said, the great things that the Muskogee Creek Nation has to offer, whether it be our beautiful landscapes, our Oklahoma sunsets, which you can't find them anywhere else, here in our home now in Oklahoma, and also incorporating some of our homelands too. But really recreationally, there's so much going on in Muskogee Creek Nation, and for people to come home, I know a big thing is a lot of our citizens mark their calendar every year for festival to come back. Now that they have the video coming out, this publication, there's going to be more of a guide for them. And as you say, it is a guide, but more of a guide for them to sort of plot their stops.
Exactly. Yeah, there are places to eat, things to do, places to see, historical points of interest that, like I said, some of our citizens might not even know about. And they're out there. We just want people to know about them.
And the thing too about, you know, tourism and rec, cannot talk to you guys, especially when it's crazy to say this, but only 3.5 months out now to our biggest weekend of the year, the Muskogee Creek Nation Festival. You guys have already started to sort of trickle out the new posters, the new logos going from Muskogee Creek Nation. We're still, you know, I don't know if we've got the sort of slogan this year. Do you want to share that with us?
I can share that with you, and it's something that we talked to at length with Chief Tiger. We're going to stay with basically the same logo as last year and the same theme because we were so proud of it, and our people really enjoyed that, and they like to wear the t-shirts that say "We are Muskogee." And one thing that I did do with the logo is clean it up a bit and then change the colors a little bit, just so it makes it a little bit different, because we know people like different shirts every year. But people are really going to enjoy it this year. Like I said, it's a lot more clean, and then the t-shirts are just going to pop. We're really happy with it.
I know. I can't wait. I think it's a great thing, and hopefully bring them on and show folks on the show as soon as we get those out and going. And these here, they can actually pick these up now, or
yes, they can. They're available now. We have several copies available to whoever might want them, whoever needs them. If you just get in contact with our office, that's Tourism and Recreation at the Muskogee Creek Nation in the main complex. They're also placed in different places throughout the nation. And so if you need one of those, please call our office or get a hold of us on email.
Well, and you know, with the Muskogee Creek Nation, this ties in with not only a comprehensive guide to our tourism and recreation and our great things we have to offer, but also with the directory that came out here with community and research development, putting out that, you know, citizens have never before, I think, I dare say, in the history of our nation, had everything they need to know and all the information that they need right in the palm of their hands.
Exactly.
And then they get it on Saturday through us too. And so we're really proud to be part of that team that really makes sure that our citizens are informed and that they're so very proud of what the great things that this nation is doing. And we want to keep up that great work. We'll do it with you all's help, and we want to thank you for coming in.
Oh, well, I appreciate you having me.
You got it.
Thank you.
Brian OnTheHill, Muskogee Creek Nation Tourism and Recreation. We're going to go to a break now. We'll be right back with the rest of the Native News Today. Don't go anywhere.
For 3 years, kids have been asking their parents, what is that hill on the river going to be? What answer did you give?
Did you tell them that someday that half-finished structure will be one of America's most important attractions, bringing visitors from around the country and the world to Oklahoma,
along with hundreds of millions of dollars into our economy?
There'll be state-of-the-art interactive displays that bring to life the stories, history, and culture of the 39 tribes that share this state.
A 210-acre landscape park and trail system. Beautiful retail and business space.
This will be another jewel in the crown of our state's tourism industry, and it will pay eternal tribute to the origin of our great state.
It's not a matter of whether we can afford to complete it. We simply can't afford not to. For the current generation of Oklahomans and the generations to come, let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
And welcome back to Native News Today. You know, as you see that piece that we just ran there through the commercial break, let's finish it. Talking about the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum. This museum has been through the woodshed as far as just trying to get through red tape to get this center built. And it's been a vision for many, many years. It's been held up, bureaucracy and things of that nature, and in the House of Representatives trying to get that through. And actually this week, had some Senate funding that was actually approved. So taking little steps to try to get this museum built and in full operation. As you saw there, a lot of heavy hitters in the Oklahoma City area behind this project. Barry Switzer, the former coach that we'll be talking to soon, hopefully here on the program, about his partnership on the board there of directors wanting to get these museum built. And they were nice enough to let us borrow some footage that they've previously had on their channels about this great, great project.
Oklahoma has a history that differentiates it from any other place in the nation. Over time, Oklahoma has been home to 67 tribal communities with roots and origins spanning the North American continent. Today, 39 tribes call Oklahoma home. In 1994, the Oklahoma legislature created the Native American Cultural and Educational Authority. This state agency was authorized to construct and operate the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum. The Cultural Authority and Museum will develop programs and exhibits that will communicate the story of American Indians in Oklahoma, serve as a study center for American Indian culture and history, and be a center for contemporary American Indian cultures. Envisioned as a world-class destination, the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum will stand as a vibrant forum where the values of American Indian life can be expressed through arts, language, dance, music, literature, crafts, and other traditions that are alive today in the Indian communities throughout Oklahoma. The American Indian Cultural Center and Museum will offer state-of-the-art resources for teaching and sharing. Visitors will be immersed in cultural celebrations, contemporary events, and activities both inside the Cultural Center and across the Cultural Park. Exhibits will combine technology, art, and storytelling to communicate the diversity of American Indian perspectives. The Cultural Center will engage new audiences and will be a place for the proliferation of Native arts, and the preservation of culture. The museum will be a valuable resource for regional, national, and global communities. Located on the Oklahoma River east of downtown Oklahoma City, the site is strategically positioned at the junction of Interstates 35 and 40, the crossroads of America. The American Indian Cultural Center and Museum project is comprised of 4 main components: a landscape park and trail system with unique outdoor programming, an arts marketplace that complements the mission of the museum, a visitor welcome center that serves as a satellite to destinations across the state, and the museum, dedicated to telling Oklahoma's story in relation to the presence of tribes past and present. The project design has been guided by tribal elders, scholars, and cultural leaders. Their participation has produced an architectural design and visitor experience that reflect the values of the American Indian community. The project rehabilitates environmentally damaged land into a 300-acre cultural park and green space. The discovery of oil in 1928 transformed the site into an industrial oil field. Site remediation has included the removal of oil field debris and over 7,000 abandoned tires. As the site is healed, the beauty of its inherent features will emerge once again. The restored natural landscapes of river, prairie, and woodlands, combined with the earthworks, courtyards, and symbolic elements, will create a unique place for all to share.
And our thanks to the great people there at the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum, Shoshana Wasserman, Muskogee Creek lady, a good friend of ours, and doing a great work. And we can't wait to see it open and go in for the first time and film a story for it on Native News Today. Can't wait for that day. Moving forward, just a little bit from the city there, we were in Norman at the Sam Noble Museum of Natural History to talk with Dr. Joshua Nelson. He's in the Department of English at OU. He's a Cherokee citizen, and he teaches Native literature at OU, Native literature classes, really into Native fiction, things like that. Sherman Alexie, a big influence for him, but he talks about in this story a Native Crossroads Film Festival and Symposium coming up. It's this next Thursday night there at the Sam Noble Museum in Norman, and wanted to spread the word about Native Crossroads, the great film festival there. Plus, he talked with us about a Janix course that he'll be teaching at the University of Oklahoma on Native peoples of Oklahoma. So we cover a lot. Dr. Joshua Nelson with the University of Oklahoma. Cherokee citizen and assistant professor of English, Dr. Joshua Nelson enjoys teaching classes on Native literature at the University of Oklahoma. He also enjoys Native film, and he's glad to be part of hosting the Native Crossroads Film Festival and Symposium that kicks off Thursday night in Norman.
We're just now in our second year, but the first one was a major success. And we were first thinking that maybe we'd just like to do this every 2 years, because as it turns out, it's a lot of work. But people were so responsive that we felt like it would just really be a missed opportunity not to keep it rolling and keep our momentum up. We've had a lot of input from across campus. It seems like everywhere we go, people want to figure out how they can pitch in and be involved. So we've linked up with anthropology and the English department, Native American Studies, and it's really film and media studies that's kind of the home for the festival. But people over in the law school, the College of International Studies, the College of Arts and Sciences, everyone has been kicking in. So as we move to a kind of more global look at indigeneity, we find too that people everywhere are interested in what's going on with these films.
Nelson also discussed how exciting it is to see Native art in so many different genres.
I think that the ways that people are moving into their visual representations are getting just as varied as you suggest. So, we really can't talk, or maybe don't even want to talk, about a single indigenous visual aesthetic, but there are a lot of them, right? There are, people doing all kinds of art, and now we're seeing they're doing all kinds of movies too. So we're going to get a lot of variety in the films that we're showing, from Winter in the Blood to The Lesser Blessed from up Canada way, and then we're going to go all the way down to Australia and pull in an Aboriginal film with Satellite Boy. I'm betting that there are a lot of Native folks out there who want to be filmmakers, right? But maybe they don't have as clear an idea as they ought to that their stories really matter, right? That they would matter to other people. So that's really kind of what we're trying to do, both with the film festival and with the class, is to get our Native folks inspired to, enter into the picture and offer up what they've got.
Dr. Nelson is also looking forward to a new course on Oklahoma's native peoples that he'll be teaching.
This was something that the university was interested in doing. You know, universities everywhere are kind of moving into the digital world for their instruction. But we thought about, you know, where is it that Oklahoma University really can make bank, right? And it's largely in relationships with Native folks and with indigenous people. And so even as we have kind of honed in just on this one place and what makes it special, we're also reaching out to the globe. We've got people participating from Turkey, we've got people from Ireland, from Spain. They're just all over the place. And you know, sometimes we're seeing that these are Native folks too, you know, that are in these faraway places that want to reconnect and want to see how it is that they could be back in touch with, you know, Native folks, even at some remove. So we've been reaching out to our communities. One of the things that Dr. Swan and I, my colleague Dan Swan, tried to do when we put this class together was think about how we can kind of take that veneer of expertise out of the equation. So it's not just our authority that we're kind of trying to build up. In fact, we're trying to remove ourselves and open up space for people in our Native communities here in Oklahoma to talk. So, you know, we talk to tribal leaders in politics, in the judicial branches. We talk to justices. We talk to people in cultural branches, Sundance leaders, Stomp Dance leaders, artists and filmmakers. You know, we just really wanted to open up the floor.
For Nelson, the value of Native culture being taught at institutions of higher education cannot be overstated.
I think back to when I sort of started to find out about an academic pursuit of Native culture. And it was a watershed moment for me, right? I think it was Sherman Alexi's story. This is what it means to say Phoenix, Arizona. And before I read that, you know, I didn't know that Indian people wrote fiction. I loved fiction. I loved Indians, right? But I didn't know that I could love Indian fiction. And as it turns out, you know, that's a really wonderful way to make a living as far as I'm concerned. Same with studying Indian film.
And as we head to the end of our program for the week, we have our last story, and certainly you like to save the best for last. We did that in this case definitely with Muskogee Creek Nation Challenge Bowl. Big event every year at the Muskogee Creek Nation, something that the area youngsters and the kids in the schools in the Muskogee Creek Nation boundary really look forward to at this time of year. It's a competition setting, but it's also lots of fun and it's very educational. It really encompasses everything about Muskogee Creek culture, whether you talk about our current events at the nation now, some of our history and how we became a nation, how we became to Oklahoma, some of the battles and wars that were fought to bring us to where we're at now, and also our language, one of the most important things, if not the important facet of our culture that completely identifies us as Muskogee Creek. So with that in mind, we headed to Beggs this week for the Muskogee Creek Nation Challenge Bowl, a great event.
First of all, I think the Challenge Bowl, as you said, it's a social environment, and I think education, like in most schools, you know, there's a social element to the learning of our children. So when we gather to have this competition, there's a creation of a social environment in which these young people have an opportunity to express the knowledge that they've gained, you know, preparing for this event. The magnitude of this event is culturally is, you know, there's just not enough words to express, simply because we feel like it's an event that encourages young people to learn more about the culture, the language, and so in that respect, it's just an event that we're glad all of the schools participate in. One of the emphases of our department especially is building a workforce. It's about strengthening our people and our tribe. And I think the kinds of opportunities that we provide through these kinds of competitions give our young people an opportunity to create an idea that maybe education is important to them. And so not only in their achievement levels in schools, they're growing as people and they build confidence, you know, and so hopefully they will think about education being a way of building a future and kind of like I did, you know, eventually maybe come back and serve the tribe.
We've just kicked off. The teams are in the competition rooms now getting ready to compete. They're excited. We're all excited. We had some changes this year with our study guide, so the schools did not get their questions this year, so we're all on level ground this year, and everybody's excited about seeing what the competition is going to be like for this year. Our committee worked really hard in getting new information put into the study guides to get it out to the schools, and working on the questions. You know, up to the last minute we were working on questions, but everyone's excited, and we're just happy that we got to have it today. We had to reschedule the high school division, and we're having that today. We could not have a Challenge Bowl without the volunteers and without the support, especially of the chief and the National Council. The National Council appropriates funding for the Challenge Bowl, and Johnson O'Malley administers that out of our office, but we have committee volunteers from health, housing, every department almost from the Muskogee Creek Nation. We have volunteers, and they're more than willing to come and help, because they like to see the children compete and having fun.
I've been participating in Challenge Bowl since I was in 3rd grade, so being able to learn, you know, a lot of Creek history and language has been really meaningful to me and helped me, you know, I feel, be able to bring the heritage and culture back and spread it throughout the youth, because a lot of it does seem to get lost pretty frequently. So I figure as much as we can learn, and the more people that we're able to get here and learn and expand our knowledge will greatly help in the long run keep the culture alive and language. Glenpool has always been, you know, I feel well known and has done pretty decent throughout the years in the Challenge Bowl. So being part of that, you know, we have a class in middle school and high school that focuses solely on it, which I think not only for competition purposes, but for just heritage purposes, you know, people being educated on the Creek culture, it just in general helps define, you know, the school, and makes us more, it makes us who we are, you know, it helps us with, you know, the language, the culture, everything about it, you know, benefits to the kids.
Well, that'll do it for another episode of Native News Today. Thank you so much for you, the viewers out there, tuning in to us. Also, have to thank our interview subjects, our story subjects this week. Dr. Joshua Nelson, such a pleasure to go talk with him about the great things going on with our Native cultures and the teaching of that at the University of Oklahoma, and really the embracing of that at the University of Oklahoma, the film festival, everything working so well there. The Challenge Bowl, what can you say? One of the biggest events every year here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. Regina Keith, the folks there at JOM doing a wonderful job with that competition, and really the Muskogee Creek Nation. Talk about buying in. Every department, every employee has a hand in that competition, do such a wonderful job volunteering. So it's a big deal, and we love covering it. And the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum, we're going to keep an eye on its progress, and as it continues to grow, definitely keep you up to date with that here on the program. Thanks again to Brian OnTheHill and Tourism Recreation for coming on with us today. You can't catch us here on the CW network. We love it when you do, but you can catch us online. Go to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our Twitter handle. It's all there for you. Native News Today. So everybody out there, take care, God bless, and we'll see you soon.